A YouTube video is never late, nor is it early. It arrives precisely when it means to. Well, I suppose one could argue that I'm making this video late. After all, it is January and I'm still wearing my Santa hat. But I am recording this before the Epiphany, so it is still technically the Christmas season. And, as I mentioned in a previous video, my December horror pack has arrived, but it did not arrive in time for the Christmas holiday, so I just wanted to maintain the tradition and still record it by the fire, even though it's not the Christmas fire anymore. But that's what we're doing today. I do in fact have the December 2024 horror pack. HorrorPack being the horror movie subscription service that every month delivers us one of these boxes with 4 horror Blu-rays. I like to open them up here on this channel and see what's inside while recording for y'all to also see what's inside at the very same moment. And so that's what we're doing today. I'm going to open up this package and I'll dive in and I'll show off what Christmas gifts I received, albeit a couple days late from the fine folks over at HorrorPack. As always, I'll put purchase links down in the What's It for all of these films in case any of them catch your attention. You can use my links to get copies for yourself, which gets something for you and also supports my work, so that's a win-win. And there's usually some good stuff in these little packages. I, for one, am pretty excited to dive in and figure out what we've got. It may be difficult in this lighting by firelight to read some of the descriptions, but I'll do my best. Do be sure also to subscribe, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos, leave me comments, like and share and all of those things. My goal for this year, my New Year's resolution, is to grow this channel as big as I possibly can, and all of those things that you can do without costing any money of your own would be very helpful to me and greatly appreciated. But we're here not to hear me prattle on about that, we're here for the movies, so let's dive right in and see what we've got. The first film to come out is entitled Haunter. It looks like a ghost story of some sort. I'm not familiar with this one, but I do like the cover art. I do always enjoy a good ghost story, particularly on these cold, wintry sort of nights, which this happens to be. It is in fact gently snowing just outside as I'm filming this, so that seems like perfect weather, especially with the fire behind me, for a ghost story. Let's go ahead and read the description on this one. It's small print, so forgive me if I hold this in front of my face, but we'll see what it says. It says, Abigail Breslin stars in Haunter, a unique take on the traditional haunted house story from director, etc., etc., etc. In 1986, teenager Lisa and her family died in their home under sinister circumstances. Unable to move on, their spirits continued to roam the house during the intervening years. Now, over a period of 6 days, Lisa must reach out from beyond the grave to help her living counterpart Olivia avoid the same fate that Lisa and her family suffered long ago. Uniquely unsettling and shocking, Haunter is a one-of-a-kind reverse ghost story that chills long after the final frame. I am intrigued by that. This is not the first film that I've ever heard of in which the ghost ends up being the main character, but it does not in fact sound quite like anything else that I've ever seen. Like I said, I like a good ghost story. It's not one that I'm familiar with, but I am very much looking forward to giving it a try. That brings us to film number 2, entitled Jurassic Dead, or The Jurassic Dead, I should say. So, from the look of the cover art, this seems to be some sort of, what would you say, zombie dinosaur or zombie T-Rex movie? I'm not sure. It's another one I'm not familiar with. If I'm correct based on the cover art, it certainly sounds like maybe not a great film, but a fun film that sounds right up my alley. But let's again read the description and see what we're in for with this one. It says, the only thing worse than a zombie is a zombie-saurus. So it is in fact a zombie dinosaur of some sort. It carries on to say, a group of mercenaries must team up with a group of tech geek students after America is struck with an EMP attack. That's an electromagnetic pulse shuts down electronics and things, in case anyone didn't know. Deep in the desert, they find the source of the terror, a mad scientist who has also just created a living T-Rex dinosaur, one who turns everyone it attacks into a zombie. So it may not be the T-Rex that's the zombie, but the T-Rex creates zombies. So it's a pseudo-zombie dinosaur, or something of the sort. Carrying on, it says, now they must scramble to stay alive and save the planet from the ultimate undead predator. Okay, so I guess it is... Well, I guess if you resurrect a T-Rex, it counts as a zombie in a certain line of thinking. It's certainly resurrecting the dead, but who am I to judge? Who am I to even question? We're combining zombies with dinosaurs, and I'm here for it. This one should be a fun popcorn sort of movie, and I'm looking forward to watching this one too. Third to come out, we have a film entitled Cherry Tree. This one... The cover doesn't really give me a whole lot of information, except it looks supernatural. She's got this black eye, and I don't mean black eye like she was like a bruised eye. I mean like a black eye, and she's holding an insect, a centipede. It looks like, or maybe not a millipede. That's a centipede, I'm pretty sure, and it's in her bloody hand. So it already seems right up my alley, but it's another one that I'm not familiar with, so let's read the description on this one too. And sweet Jesus, it's in this tiny little red print, so this is going to be a challenge for me to read in the low light, but I'll do my best. This one says, Faith's world is turned upside down after she finds out that her beloved father is dying. When the mysteriously alluring Sissy Young becomes her new hockey coach, Faith has no idea that Sissy is the head of a witches' coven that has resided in her hometown of Orchard for centuries. Using the fruit of an ancient cherry tree in a bloody ritual, the witches can bring the dead and dying back to life. And when Sissy offers to cure Faith's father, she lures the young woman into a dangerous deal that will leave her fighting for her life. So it's about witches, or a witch's coven, witchcraft and magic, and presumably the idea that when one dabbles in the dark arts, either directly performing the dark arts oneself, or indirectly by making a deal with a witch's coven, whichever way one chooses to do it, when one dabbles in the dark arts, typically, particularly in horror fiction, one ends up getting more than one bargained for, and, well, as the magician, the stage magician, or close-up magician, not like a wizard magician, but as the magician Eugene Berger said, every miracle has its price. And he was referring to that in the context of magic, meaning that whatever trick you're doing, there's always a trade-off in terms of method versus effect, and the better you want it to be, the harder it's going to be, that sort of thing. But in this context, every miracle also has its price, and if you're going to make a deal with the devil, so to speak, in order to bring somebody back to life or prevent somebody from dying, bad things are likely to happen. So I have no idea how deep this gets into those sorts of psychological or philosophical issues, but it sounds like a good horror movie anyway. And so far we're 3 for 3 in terms of movies that I really know nothing about, but we're also 3 for 3 in terms of movies that sound right up my alley and that I am genuinely very much looking forward to watching. Fourth and last, there's always a HorrorPack exclusive Blu-ray of some sort. This one is Blu-ray exclusive number 103. It's a film entitled The Bench. I'm not sure if you're able to read that in the low light or not, but it's called The Bench. It has a silhouette or a shadowy figure of somebody holding some sort of a weapon, maybe an axe. Could be a bat, but it looks like an axe. So maybe a slasher story? Really not sure. It's another one, in fact, that I have not heard of. I know nothing about this film. But I will say the HorrorPack exclusives tend to be pretty good. Not all of them have been great. A lot of them have been great. Some have been pretty good. Very few have really not appealed to me, so I'm excited regardless. But let's again read the description. This one says, in the summer of 2007, a group of emerging filmmakers and actors set out into the Scottish wilderness to make a low-budget horror film in homage to the low-budget American horror films of the 1970s. Fair enough. I've done a little bit of that myself, and it's always a good time. presumably it's not going to be a good time for these particular filmmakers, and we'll carry on to find out why. It goes on to say, this grisly slasher has never been seen until now. A breakdown, a kind invitation, a cabin with a bloody past. Alex Summers and her newfound friends face a nightmarish reality as they are picked off one by one, drawn to the sinister bench below. So the bench in this case is, I guess, a workbench or a mortician's bench or something of that sort. And I was correct thinking that it looks like a slasher movie. It is, in fact, a slasher movie. I'm intrigued by this one, though. The setup sounds familiar enough. It sounds a lot like many other slasher movies that we all know and love, but it's a formula that works. I really got nothing to complain about. This one sounds intriguing as well. I'm looking forward to all of these. And so there we have it. 4 brand new films. I don't know if they're new, but they're certainly new to me. I don't know anything about them, but it was, albeit a little bit late, a wonderful Christmas present for me. I'll start watching these shortly. Maybe I'll pop one in and watch it while this fire burns down. Although, I have to say, there is something to be said for reading a book of ghost stories by the fire, so maybe I'll read my book by the fireplace and then watch one of these later. I tend to watch movies in bed anyway, so that seems like a good plan. Regardless of what I'm going to do, Merry Christmas late. As I said, this is before Epiphany, so it's not too late for me to say so. But also, Happy New Year. Be sure to stick around. Like I said at the beginning, subscribe, all those things. But most importantly of all, take care and stay scared.